The new show Ironheart dropped on Disney Plus, and, you know, the review bombing just proves that some comic book fans still can't handle women of color in the spotlight. Or the show is just kind of not that good, to be completely honest. I'm going to give you my honest assessment. It's kind of meh. You know, it's not overtly woke. We've only got the first 3 episodes so far. It's not like they come in and they say, as a woman of color, I have been held down by the man or white man or anything like that. It literally just has like a drag queen, gay hacker in it, like a black drag queen character. But they don't make it a point of the story. They don't say like, I'm non-binary and therefore the white man or anything like that. So none of those overt ideological elements. But the show is extremely poorly written. Now listen, I'm a superhero fan. I like these shows. I like pretty much. I'll watch Arrow. I'll watch The Flash on CW because they're fun. They're fun, even when they're poorly written, poorly made, and hokey. And let me just say, Ironheart, I give D+, C-. So let me put it this way: in terms of a superhero show, I don't mind watching it. I'm actually interested to see if they introduce Mephisto. I don't know exactly how they're going to play it, but basically the story is, spoiler alert, I guess, maybe, I don't know. Riri Williams has a suit she made at MIT, and she joins a criminal gang because she's a bad person, and the bad guy uses magic, and he can curve bullets and turn invisible, and so she double-crosses him because she's a bad person, and, I'm going to get into a little bit of spoils in a little bit, but here's where we are right now. We've got this article from TV Fandom Lounge, and they say that it hadn't even premiered when it was already under fire, not from critics or audiences with genuine concerns, but from a brigade of online trolls before a single frame had officially been aired on Disney+. It had been dragged down to a 32% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Fair points in that people hadn't watched it yet. However, the trailers were already out. People had already seen clips from the show, so yes, they had released this. There was one clip that they actually edited that went viral a while ago because they filmed this show a long time ago, and people were like, it is woke, it's got leftist garbage in it, the character is not a hero, it's just bad in terms of the core of the show. Now let me just say, writing-wise, it is miserably awful, and I'm going to get into spoilers, but I'm just giving you guys a warning, okay? Because when I start spoiling the show, you're going to shake your head, and that's where it gets pretty bad, and there's a lot to talk about. But they're basically saying that it's getting review bombed. Now look at this. Over at Google, you can see it's got a 2.9 out of 5 and a lot of 1-star reviews. But when you look at it, it's not overt review bombing. The reviews are actually saying the show is bad, okay? There's a huge long, someone basically wrote an article saying, here's why it's bad. We have another bad rating where they basically say it's a mean-spirited, confused. People don't like the show. All right, now let's start here. They're trying to claim it's a review bomb because they can't accept the premise of the show is bad. The core of the show is bad. It's just all around one of the weakest things they've produced. I'm going to give them an A+ in one category, Chicago, because they did a pretty good job as it being Chicago. Like, they got thin crust tavern style pizza correct, and for that, A+, Marvel. The show is watchable. It is watchable. But it's like, oh man, it's worse than the CW superhero shows. All right, spoiler time. Riri Williams is not a hero. She's a really bad person. She gets into MIT as a prodigy and then immediately starts selling inventions that MIT is funding and allowing her to make. She sells these tech tools on the black market to random people for nefarious reasons. Not all the people she's selling to are like criminals or whatever, but she's basically just black market selling off unlicensed tech from MIT. She gets expelled for doing so and steals a armor that she was building at MIT. She steals it and flies away in basically what's an Iron Man suit, and the school deactivates it, causing her to crash. Now her suit's badly damaged. She hacks it to create an AI so she can pilot again because she stole it from MIT. She needs money, so she joins a criminal gang that kills people because she's a bad person. Now here's the best part. Spoiler alert. How do the criminals make their money? Oh man. Okay, so I like the bad guy is the Hood. and I'm okay with this character. He's basically selling his soul for magic, which like basically a warlock in D&D sense, and it's killing him. But he doesn't want to be a nobody, and he wears this hood that is like cursed or something. We don't know just yet. So she joins up with them. They kill people, and she's like, oh, man, this is bad. But they give her hundreds of thousands of dollars. She's making it rain, and she loves it. But then she finds out that when you're done with the gang, if they kick you out, they kill you. So she decides to double cross them. Anyway, but let me get to that. How does the gang make money? Okay. They just make rich people sign contracts to give them money. I'm not even kidding. They have this circuitous plan where they're like, this woman has built a network of tunnels under Chicago for faster commuting. Your cars can go on these magnetic rails, and they can zoom you across the city much faster. And so they're like, here's the plan. Fight your way in, take out the security, hacker, shut down the grid. Then I'll turn invisible, get in the car, and make her sign a contract with me. This thing was written by 10-year-olds. Is written by 14-year-olds who've never entered a contract. Now, don't get me wrong, I get it. The show is for children, but they're usually targeting like teenagers at the very least. So the bad guy goes, he hands her a trifold paper and he goes, sign this. And she's like, she looks at him and then he smashes her phone and then she's like, oh, and then she signs it. And he's like, this contract guarantees that we'll get 6-figure salaries. And it's like, dude, are you kidding me? She'd be like, first of all, me signing that, I don't know where the account is getting paid. I don't know what the name of the company on the invoice is going to be. I have no way of telling anybody to pay out these contracts. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in a superhero show. Then you get, I do like that Obadiah Stane's got the bad guy. Jeff Bridges' character is in, his kid is in it. That's cool. So they tried doing it again. They're basically just cornering rich people and being like, sign a contract, which makes no sense. Maybe they'll reveal something. You know, I was like, I know they can save themselves from this. What they needed to do was have someone ask, basically be like, if they're going the Mephisto route, they could have had someone say, wait a minute, you're just getting rich people to sign contracts? Yo, what if they just don't pay? What are you going to do? Like, they know who you are now. And that would have been funny. And then the bad guy could have said, you let me worry about that. I know what we're doing. And then what they reveal is they're actually contracts with Mephisto. So the rich people it's basically the plan. That may be the case. And so like the story ends when this one rich dude is like, I ain't signing that. And then he fights and gets killed. And I'm like, why do they need to break into these high-tech facilities, disabling all the security guards just to walk up to a guy and be like, sign a contract? Like, they've got all these viruses and they're threatening the companies and the livelihood. It's like, dude, you could literally just blackmail their family. You know, I don't understand what's all this nonsense. But anyway, she betrays them because she's worried they're going to betray her. And then she basically kills a guy. And that's where the show ends. What I will say, I would give it on a scale, if we're doing 5 stars, I say a 2, 3 maybe. Maybe 2.5. That's fair. Like, I'm watching it only because I have to. Like, there are some shows that I was like, oh, like when Daredevil came out, I was like, I want to watch Daredevil. And I put it on. And I was like, oh man, I want the next episode. With Ironheart, I really didn't want to watch it at all. I think the IP is bad. I think the story is forced. I think the trailers were not very good. I like the Chicago stuff. I'm from Chicago. I'm biased. But I watched it because the story's coming out about the review bomb. So I did watch it. And I'm like, okay, I'll finish watching it. It's watchable. But it is probably one of the worst shows. To be fair, I never watched Secret Invasion, I think it was. I never watched it. And I don't really care to watch it or whatever. I don't know. So, but it's probably watchable as well because I'll watch all superhero stuff. So the story is poorly written. The character motivation is poorly developed. There's too much Deus Ex Machina. The core IP is not very good. I'd give it a generic saltine cracker review for a superhero show. May as well have been on the CW alongside The Flash, where actors are poorly cast and the plot is weak. You know, like she steals the okay, hold on. She's selling technology on the black market and get expelled from MIT, but she installed MIT school software on the machine without any overrides or backups, stealing what is likely a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment with like fabricated metals. It breaks down and then she like creates a crappier version. Like she repairs it in crappy ways. And I'm just like, hold on. Yo, it takes her less than a day. Like it takes her 4 hours to brain scan an AI so that she can pilot this thing. But she didn't do that before as a backup so that you could steal it. It's just stupid writing. Stupid. But in terms of the MCU, it's been garbage for a while. This show apparently was made a long time ago. They didn't know if they were going to release it or how they were going to release it, so they're finally putting it out. And it's watchable. You know, whatever. I find myself actually watching it and not being distracted all that much, though there are a few points where I skip the weird family stuff. I don't care. But just understand, I would not give this show a great review. I would give Daredevil Born Again like a 3.5 out of 5. Or maybe like a 6 out of 10. It's like, yeah, okay, I guess, you know, eh. This one I give on the back end a little lower. So I think the reviews are legit. I think people actually don't like the show. There's one really great thing I'll point out. So she's got the suit of armor, and then she gets asked, like, you got an arc reactor in there? And she's like, they ain't exactly handing those things out. My suit's solar and wind powered. Huh? Obadiah Stane, his kid is in the show, Ezekiel Stane, and he's helping her. And the whole premise of Iron Man 1 was that the invention of the miniaturized arc reactor is what powered the suits, and Stane had to steal it from Tony because they didn't know how he did it, and they couldn't replicate it. And he tried to kill Tony and steal the arc reactor. But now she can just make these suits with solar power. Okay. Yeah, it's poorly written. It's a disgrace to the it spits in the face of the MCU, and that's why it's trash IP. It's just not good. But as a standalone superhero show, it's whatever. If you like superhero shows, you're going to say okay. I'm very interested to see if they introduce Mephisto, and I want to know where the story goes with Hood. And it's really weak, to be honest. It's like really weak motivations. But hey, if they're targeting 10-year-olds, what am I even talking about? I'm going to leave it there. It's Friday. You get what you get. We had breaking news today. Smash the like button, share the show. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all. We'll see y'all tonight at Timcast IRL.